state tournament. Both teams 0-2 in pool play so far this season in the 2024 edition of the Alaska Legion State Baseball Tournament. Kenai lost a heartbreaker to South 1-0, and then yesterday the Twins lost to Eagle River 8-1. And today they play Palmer. Palmer also in the same boat. Palmer got run ruled in their first game against Eagle River 14-0. Their second game yesterday against South, they lost 6-3. So both these teams in search of their first win. This potentially, given how things shake out in the other games, could be one of these teams' final games, or it could be both teams' final game of the season. Tomorrow will be Wasilla and Chugiak South and Eagle River West in service. Kenai and Palmer have the day off tomorrow, and then the semifinals start on Wednesday and the championship game on Thursday. So we'll see what happens here. Twins, as the designated higher seed, they're the number 3 seed, so they are the home team. Palmer, the number 7 seed, designated as the away team. Twins today wearing their pinstripe uniforms with cut-off sleeves, shirt underneath it, kind of a vest-like jersey. The Pioneers wearing their blue uniforms with orange and gray trim as we're about ready to get underway. Malachi Olson on the mound for the Twins here this afternoon. Gets ready to face Reed Craner here to open up the ball game as we are underway. Game number 2 of the day. Foul back out of play. 0-1 the count to Craner. Craner yesterday the starting pitcher for Palmer against South. Breaking ball 0-2. Craner had a pretty decent outing until the later stages of that ball game. 0-2. Fouled out of play. Do it over again. Craner comes up empty, strikeout. Route number 1. And Cody Otto will come up to the plate. Give you the rest of the batting order here for the post-15 Pioneers. Cody Otto at the plate now. Batting third is Jackson Charton. Batting fourth is Tristan Berry. Batting fifth, Mason Miller. Marquise Hall is batting sixth. Batting seventh, Wyatt Jacobs. Batting eighth, Brian Hartman. And batting ninth and rounding out the order is Hudson Broder. As a called strike delivered, 1-1 the count. Here to Cody Otto, the first baseman for the Pioneers here this afternoon. Pitch wide of the mark as Ari Miller unable to get to it before he gets to the backstop. Olson with the 2-1 pitch, 3-1. Set the Twins defense here in just a moment. Left-handed hitting Cody Otto. 3-1 pitch. Fouled off, third base side, out of play. That'll make it toward the batting cage along the third base side. Mention Olson on the mound, Miller behind the plate. Hunter Williams over at first, Jacob Jonas over at second, Andrew Pye at short, and Gabe Smith over at third, and a walk issued here to Cody Otto. So the first base runner here for Palmer in the top of the first inning. The outfield for the Twins from left to right, Matthew Schilling, Levi Mickelson, and Gabe Jonas. Jackson Charton will stand in there with 1 out, 1 on. Ball outside. They appeal down to first, no swing. Check of the runner, back safely is Cody Otto. One 0 in there for a called strike, 1-1. Palmer head coach Ricardo Solis in the third base coach's box. Big swing that time by Jackson Charton. Nothing to show for it. 1-2. Foul back out of play. Well, if you tuned in for game number 1, you missed an interesting first game of the day in which West went on to win 7-1. Pitch inside, even things up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. To start the game, it was windy, it was rainy. Just not fantastic conditions. There were some weird things happening in the first inning. 2-2. Check the runner prior to that. We had a steal of home in that game. I mean, you name it, it happened, it seemed like, in that game. Fouled off at home plate, staying alive is Charton. Yeah, it seemed like almost every hit besides a triple and a home run happened in that game. 2-2. That hit him. Hit him right on the left hand. Came in high and tight and a little too tight. So now 2 runners on as Tristan Berry will come up. So Palmer looking to strike first here in the top of the first inning. Temperatures hovering right around the mid-50s here. Wind has been blowing all day long. Coming in straight in for left field. First pitch swinging, lifted out to right field. The right fielder, Gabe Jonas, is there. Runner Cody Otto tagging from second, heading over to third, and he'll advance. So now runners at the corners, 2 out for Mason Miller. Runners take their leads as Olsen takes his time with the first pitch, and it's inside for ball 1. Many of the fans today electing to seek shelter under the grandstands. Steal of second as Olsen really not paying attention to Jackson Charton. So a stolen base, and now 2 runners in scoring position. Called strike delivered to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ground ball up the middle, hits off the mound. It's going to be tough as it lines up in no man's land, and it's an infield hit. Mason Miller with an RBI that drives in Cody Otto to give Palmer a 1-0 lead. Ball rocketed up the mound almost like a ramp, and then it just died before Andrew Pye, the shortstop, could get to it. As Marquise Hall will step up with runners at the corners. Throw over to first to chase Mason Miller back. This one lifted out to left field. Matthew Schilling is there. And Ari Miller with 2 outs and a runner 90 feet away. Steps up. There's pitch, bounces up there. Nice stop by Mason Miller. So the Twins leading 3-1. A little answer here in the home half, the first. Pitch gets away once again from Miller. That one's going to be a pass ball. As Gabe Jonas comes in. making it 4-1. Kenai. Inside, 3-0. Tristan Berry. 3-0 pitch outside and a walk to Ari Miller. There'll be an incoming in the second. So the center fielder Wyatt Jacobs will stand in against Malachi Olson. Pitch inside with the fastball for ball one. Called strike. 1-1. Swing and a miss that time by Wyatt Jacobs. Don't know if he foul tipped it, but the way that it went off of Ari Miller, the catcher, it may have. Went off the top of Miller's glove. Nevertheless, it's strike two. 1-2. Breaking ball called strike three. Second strikeout of the game for Malachi Olson. So Brian Hartman will come up. Inside, ball one. That pitch a little bit low, ball two. Olson working fairly quickly, delivers the 2-0. Swung on and missed by Hartman. This one a little looper to the second baseman. He's going to field it. Jonas on one hop. Low throw, but dug up by Hunter Williams at first for out number two. I was curious to see if the second baseman, Jacob Jonas, was going to try to catch it out of the air. Did a nice job staying back on the baseballs. It had a little bit of spin on it. Sticking with it to retire Brian Hartman for out number two. Here's Hudson Broder. This one slice foul, first base side, out of play. Popped up. Anybody get to it? Nope. Falls harmlessly to the ground in foul territory. Matson Invitational also taking place as well over at Bartlett High School. Fouled off at home plate. Games today. I believe they had games yesterday as well. Oh, 2. 1-2. Down low and inside. Even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss and a strikeout to end the top of the second inning. It'll be top of the order coming to the plate for Palmer. It'll be Craner, Otto, and Charton. Overcast skies here in the Anchorage area now. As the majority of the storm that came through has passed by now. And a lot of rain overnight and into this morning. A lot of wind as well. Wind is still flying around here in Mulcahy and swirling. 0-1 pitch here from Olson. Now 0-2 is just getting a piece of it was Craner. Craner struck out in his first plate appearance today. Oh, 2. Strikes out for the second time. So Cody Otto. First pitch strike delivered by Olson. Oh, 1. A little farther outside that time. Misses for a ball. 1-1. 2-1. Second game of the day. Game 3 coming up later tonight. Scheduled start time 6 o'clock. Breaking ball that misses well outside. 3-1. Our nightcap tonight should be a pretty good one. Chugiak in service. Three-one pitch. Ground ball over to the second baseman, Jacob Jonas. 2 away. Jackson Charton, who was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance back in the first inning. First pitch swinging, lifted out to right field. Gabe Jonas is there, second base. And as Ari Miller will come up to the plate. Little looper to the second baseman. Charton misplayed it. Gets by him. Rounding third. Hunter Williams will score. Give him a RBI single. So Malachi Olson now up as it's 5-1. Keen eye out in front. Pitch down low for a ball. This one foul. Just did miss the third base bag. Breaking ball misses outside and low. Check of the runner. Did they get him? No. The first baseman, Cody Otto, not playing on the first base bag. Was playing off the bag, and maybe if he was not kind of shadowing the base runner, if he was staying there, he might have been able to tag out Ari Miller. Big swing, and coming up empty is Malachi Olson. Two-two. Whoa. Tristan Berry. Give you a Bull Durham reference. Went Nuke LaLoosh there with that pitch. Move on to the top of the fourth inning as the Pioneers will send up Tristan Berry, Mason Miller, and Marquise Hall. Lifted, first pitch swinging, slicing foul, first base side. I wonder on average how many baseballs per game teams go through. As this one lifted out to right field and it's dropped. Gabe Jonas dropped it. And E9 allowing Tristan Berry to be safe. Gabe Jonas, Jacob Jonas, and Levi Mickelson, the center fielder, were all trying to gauge it and who wanted it. And it was Gabe Jonas who tried to haul it in but unable to do so, and it fell to the outfield grass. Foul tipped by Mason Miller. Miller had a base hit RBI to drive in Cody Otto back in the first. But with all the foul balls that happened here at Mulcahy Stadium, it just got me wondering, did he get hit? Yes, he did. As Miller hit by the pitch, we'll go down to first. I bet they have to go through at least 30 baseballs per game. Easily. But I don't know. I know that every new box has, a dozen baseballs in it? So I don't know. Maybe they don't quite go through 2 boxes of baseballs, but certainly got to be quite a few. I bet Steve Nerlin would know on average. Fastball called strike, delivered from Malachi Olson. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. 2 runners on as Palmer threatening here in the top of the fourth. This one lifted down the left field line. Going to be trouble. Definitely going to score 1. Tristan Berry rounding third. He will score standing up. And everybody else going to be safe. RBI single for Marquise Hall. Good job by Matthew Schilling, the left fielder, to get to it quickly to prevent Mason Miller from advancing past second and maybe even attempting to score. It's now 5-2. This one up the middle. What a play by Malachi Olson. Goes to second for 1. Can they turn it? No. Ball gets past the first baseman. It'll be an error. A run does score, however, as Mason Miller comes in. Hall is out at second. 1-4 on the putout of second base. An error, however, on the second baseman, E4. And then the advancement down to second for Wyatt Jacobs. Now Brian Hartman at the plate. So the Pioneers scratching out a couple of runs. Now they only trail by 2, 5-3. Hartman, a chopper down to the third baseman, Gabe Smith. Good scoop by Hunter Williams to retire Brian Hartman for out number 3. But in the inning, a couple of runs come home. 2 runs on 1 hit. There was 1 error. Well, that was only the second out. I'm already tallying. Hold on. Where am I at here? Maybe it was only the second out. What am I doing? Yeah. Wow. Getting ahead of myself here. Only 2 down, not 3 down. Miscounting here. So Hudson Broder now at the plate. My apologies. One. Fouled, out of play. 1-2. So Wyatt Jacobs, the runner over at third now after the ground out by Brian Hartman for the second out of the inning. Breaking ball, grounder over to Gabe Smith at third. Smith throws and able to retire. Broder over at first. That is the third out of the inning.